That's our logo, our another table, two other samples which are waiting for the assembly, After this one is finished, we're gonna perform the work on this one. But since it's like a trial version, a lot of errors and mistakes and other improvements which we already found will be implemented on these two units and future units as well. So yeah, the purpose, I guess, is to show you that how much noise this thing generates at 1000 RPM, how much energy it provides, and just show you how it is more advanced in comparison to our previous prototype. Like I showed you the guys 2 days ago, or last night, about that device no longer needs more time for launching, for charging, because it spins very quickly. Like in 3-4 seconds, it already, has, full speed, and then it just needs, I don't know, another 2-3 seconds to supply power to our stands. Okay, so I guess we're ready to start. Andrew will be introducing, and I will be, translating. So basically, everything started with the push of a button. He just started. The interface is not yet ready, so it's a default interface for this monitor, but it's going to be new, our one. This is the front panel, by the way. Yeah, this is just, it's just a default one, so don't really pay attention, but we're going to improve upon it. So can you hear the noise generation?
Can't really hear anything.
Yeah, that's the point, If I put closely, noise it generates. We did utilize also another cool feature of the water cooling, which is, basically we connected to the driver. The water exchanges heat with this driver here through this small, small pump. Yeah, and basically all the heat is concentrated and then disposed of through these two fans behind this radiator cover. Yeah, it's just we just ordered this thing online, and it's actually much more efficient in comparison to the regular, air cooling methods like we just utilized here. 3 fans, intaking air, and then it goes all the way inside these blocks, and then basically comes out from here. It still works, but for future models, so we can save space and also weight, and also it's going to be maybe less costly to utilize water cooling method, and also this rotor inside this generator. Also, let me show you on this sample here. Well, we actually simplified this here, but basically has holes inside which use like fan, like wings, which intake air inside. So basically, air is going all the way through the rotor or on top of it in order to cool down these coils. A certain amount of heat is also generated on these coils, And what else to show you? Well, basically, this is the service group. I would say like 12 to 24 volts connection via for the battery charge, just like a hijack. What do you call it? Hot wire car. If battery is dead, all kinds of connections to the system. So these cables, those bills. Choose the application. So basically some connection button. Anyway, and we will explain later. And 1-phase, 3-phase outlet. So this is what we're working on right now. We connected Tesla the other time to this one, to 1-phase outlet, but we will finish work on this one in order to feed the all 10 kilowatts to the car, through this one, through this outlet. This battery inside, which is used just for the launch, so it's quite small in comparison to the previous prototype. Yeah, and just the button, just with the 3 colors: start, stop, green for energy generation, blue for cooling, and red for overheating. If overheating starts, this one starts, blinking. Yeah. So this is basically it, the quick introduction. So now let's start with the load.
Hey, Sean, should we hold our questions until
we can't really run it at full capacity. So as you can see, same thing as we did with our prototype, connected the wire to one. It's just 1 kilowatt being supplied. But see, this is the good part about this one, you know. We disconnected it, you know, now we connect it again. Yeah. So load doesn't have to be gradual. It can be just like this, all 10 kilowatts at the same time, because capacitors inside are much more capable in all three outlets work, as you can see, you know. So these are, how to say, independent outlets, you know, they don't depend on each other. So all of them are 3 kilowatts each. Yeah, it means that we basically divide it. The device is divided into 3 parts. If something happens to one unit here, 2 other units still working and provide the energy, you know. And if something happened to 2 of them, 1 is still operating, you know. So it means the device doesn't have to be completely broken. And also in the future units, there will be our 4th unit installed over there. We didn't put a cover on it yet, but it will be like as a reserve, like a spare. It won't operate during the normal hours, but if, for example, something happens with one of them, that one will serve as a spare until maintenance is done. Yeah, Andrew wants to show you that it's totally mobile. It's on our table here. It's actually heavier than we expected. We couldn't even put it down from the table. So also Andrew wants to show you how much time it take for this thing to launch. So he will switch it off. Load is still being applied. Okay, so you can see load is still applied. We will switch it off. So now it's totally stopped. Now we still maintain the load, but the load is still being, you know, applied, but we started with the load. So you can count 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds, and the device is already, you know, capable of providing the full load to the consumer device. It's not yet so, you know, effective with only 1 lamp stand of 1 kilowatt, but in future we already ordered like 3 more stands, so there will be all 10 kilowatts applied at the same.
Добрый день, меня зовут Слободян Андрей.
Good day, my name is Slobodan Andrei.
Я представляю вашему вниманию свой магнитный мотор-генератор.
I'd like to introduce to you my motor generator, magnet motor generator,
И также систему управления немного.
and system control for my motor generator.
Данный мотор-генератор у нас уже работал в течение 6 месяцев.
This motor was working for us almost 6 months already.
Его общая полезная мощность составляет до 1 киловатта.
It can provide almost 1 kilowatt per hour.
Вот. В данном видео я хочу вам продемонстрировать этот образец, как он работает и как он вырабатывает электроэнергию.
In this video I would like to show you how it works and how it provides the electricity.
Вот, я вкратце расскажу, что собой он представляет.
In short notice I will try to explain everything and how it works.
Этот мотор состоит из стартера и ротора.
This motor, except the starter and rotor.
На стартере мотора находятся бифилярные катушки.
On the starter of this motor, you can see the bifilar coils.
В количестве 55 штук.
There are around 55 coils on the starter.
Также в нем внутри находится ротор
Inside the rotor
с неодимовыми магнитами.
with neodymium magnets.
В данном видео я хочу продемонстрировать работу без подключения нагрузки и с нагрузкой, а также разборка и сборка.
In this video, I would like to show you the working of this motor generator with connected to lamp and not connected to the system output.
Вот. Для чего нам это, для чего это хочу вам продемонстрировать? Для того, чтобы показать всем людям, что в этом мотора внутри не находится никаких элементов, сторонних элементов питания.
And one more thing about this video that I'd like to show to other people who not believe in this magnet generator, motor generator, that's inside of this motor generator and inside of the control system there are no other power supplies, any other power supplies except itself.
Так, ну что ж, начнем. Будем
Okay.
запускать.
Let's see, let's start.
Кстати, максимальная скорость вращения может доходить до 6000 оборотов в минуту.
Maximus can reach till 6000 RPM.
Так, запускается с легкого толчка.
With a simple push, it can start, you see?
Ну, видимо, набирает обороты.
You might hear how it's rising the RPM inside the system.
Так, это он работает без нагрузки.
Now it's no output inside the motor, so it's starting really faster.
Сейчас я его остановлю
I will stop it,
и подключим нагрузку. То есть нагрузка у нас является лампочка.
and we will put the output. Output is a lamp.
То есть видим, как разгоняется. То есть его можно остановить в данный момент рукой.
Right now, it is, as it is Pioneer sample, we just stop it by hand.
Да. Подключаем нагрузку этой лампы.
Now we'll connect to the output and start it again.
Вот, и тоже покажу ротор, что мы будем это запускать. Вот, с одного толчка.
And now you can see it's again started by one simple turn.
Набирает обороты.
Little impulse enough to start
Покажи
it.
лампочку, да, как работать. Вот. Это вот он работает с нагрузкой. Этот мотор мощностью до 1 киловатта. Был разработан мной более 5 лет назад.
This motor, this power of 1 kilowatt per hour, was designed by me and developed around like 5 years ago.
Также был изготовлен, то есть у меня изготовлен есть мотор мощностью 10 киловатт.
And so we have a motor for 10 kilowatts.
Вот, видим, как раз набирает обороты.
Now here it's starting rotating more faster.
В данный момент нет никаких источников питания, ни батарей, ни электромагнитных излучений, которые влияют на него, которые передаются воздушным путем.
Right now there's nothing what can be provide other energy except itself. There are no any other battery or electromagnetic fields. You might even see underground here. There's nothing. Probably, yeah, table, but still the table is working. Anyway, so yeah.
Так, ну, в принципе, мы сейчас, чтобы видео не делать там большим и длинным, пока я его остановлю.
Yeah, let's us not keeping watching this video, make it more longer. The purpose of this video to show inside the motor, so let me stop it.
Вот. И начнем разборку полностью этого мотора, чтобы вы посмотрели, что нет никаких источников, потому что некоторые люди думают, что находится батарея внутри ротора.
And right now we will open the rotor, take it off, and showing you that there's nothing inside the system. Because some of people think
Я останавливаюсь.
Some of people think there are some battery inside, and most people doesn't trust the energy coming from this rotor. But
Можно будет показать PCB. Сюда.
okay, now I will show you construction of the controller, the PCB.
То есть можно видеть, что здесь тоже ничего нету.
You see there's nothing inside.
То есть у нас инвертор, наша плата программного обеспечения, то есть
Here the inverter and the PCB with the software.
в данной плате мы используем программное обеспечение, разработанное нами.
This is processor with the software. What we actually we provide this software for ourselves.
Вот это благодаря вот этому программному обеспечению, то есть данный магнитный мотор-генератор работает, то есть благодаря вот этому программному обеспечению.
And because of this small plate we can use, and the magnet generator can work with no any other supply.
Сейчас я отключаю.
I'll show you more closer this PCB. They're like, if you see the 14 channels and nothing.
Так,
Okay, let me go in the first position. Okay, one more time.
так,
See?
посмотрим на подставку. Подставки тоже
Here the stands, nothing.
сделаны из пластмасса, тоже тут
The
никаких
plastic, nothing else.
нету потайных каких-то там
No other connections.
скрытых батарей. Также вот сегодня сейчас разберу вот этот ротор, статор, вам покажу.
Now I will open it and will show you inside this.
Это у нас есть инструменты.
By using these
И начнем
equipment,
разборку.
let's open this generator.
Да, очень хороший инструмент.
It's really good equipment.
Все болты сделаны из нержавейки, они не магнитные.
All supplies, all equipment get made by unmagnetic field by the steel.
Так, керамический подшипник.
This is
Керамический подшипник.
You see, it's easy. Inside this rotor, only ceramic.
Забыл, как подшипник. Ничего. Как он там подшипник будет?
Oh, yes, yes. Guys, sorry. Sometimes I forget the words. Probably not. And sorry for my English. Still. bearing. You see the ceramic bearing inside. There's nothing inside the rotor.
Так, я вот
See?
буду...
And now see here. Here
Далее этот у нас ротор.
this is rotor.
Вот, он полностью пластиковый, из
It's all the plastics and
неодимого магнита.
neodymium magnets.
То есть мы видим,
It's only magnets inside.
все это магнит.
All is magnets, nothing else except the magnets. Yes, I cannot go closer because probably magnet field could make damage for the cameras. But
Сейчас мы будем раскручивать внутренности, потому что некоторые думают, что там находится батарея.
and now we'll open the inside to the rotor.
Так,
So we'll be able to see there nothing.
Тут есть упорные болты, которые держат сам вал.
There are some bolts was actually fixing the middle of the okay, now it's open it. See? There's nothing. It's open and nothing there, nothing inside. Only the magnets. It's
Он не пластик.
only plastic, nothing else.
Так, дальше сейчас собираем. То есть, и мы сейчас будем его обратно собирать и запускать.
Now I'll assemble this and start it again to show you how it works.
Без всякого монтажа.
Without any cuts.
Стараемся этот проблему сделать быстро. Так, и обратно вставляем его в статор.
Now I'll put it back inside the starter. Okay. I will show you closer. The starter. Nothing. Ceramic bearings,
Тут вот это.
coils, connector. So nothing.
Так. Не попасть, подшипник.
Difficult to get inside the but
Так, вроде попал. Так. Сейчас сюда стоит. Попасть.
it's really easy construction. No any other things except these small parts.
Все,
It's ready. Ready for
Собрали.
next step.
брали. Сейчас будем подключать. Поближе, поближе. Так, все подключено. Сейчас я сделаю запуск.
Okay, it's all connected. Now we'll start the generator. Rotating.
Так.
Did you turn off?
Инвертор не запустился.
Inventor didn't start.
Бывает такое, что не спускается.
Sometimes we might not start.
За счет импульса, скорее всего.
The impulse will work on the opposite side, but still.
Сейчас запуск. Пожалуйста.
Yeah, you see now, it's working.
Так что какие-то еще, если есть вопросы по вот этой установке, пишите в комментариях, ставьте лайки.
And if you have any
Пока.
questions, you might send your comments, put in likes and see it. Still, I'd like to show you the other part.
Вспомнил.
And I remember one thing.
Свой 10
See,
киловатт.
guys, it's working. There's nothing inside. There's no system. There's something. See, nothing. Okay, bye bye. Working, keep working. Let's go and see the 10 kilowatts. Our laboratory.
Лаборатория.
Yeah, it's our laboratory. We're working here. Yeah, it's
Это
easy.
установка мощностью 10 киловатт.
This motor generator has a power supply for 10 kilowatt per hour.
Вот. Данная установка работает тоже такому же принципу, как я вам сейчас демонстрировал.
This generator works at the same system, same style as I showed you before, previous one.
Так что тоже принцип такой же. Есть программное обеспечение, есть инвертор, который конвертирует высокое напряжение в более низкое.
The software, the control system, inventor, and everything are same but bigger sizes.
Пожалуйста, это уже готовая, так бы сказать, установка.
It's almost ready model. To set it up. No monitor, but in front of this will be the monitor, what is controlling it. But easy, simple.
Окей.
10 kilowatts. This is 10 kilowatts, guys. Per hour. For longer than 10 years. Maybe longer. Okay, guys. Let's see how our generator works like now. Is it still working? Oh, it's still working. Actually, it will work for more than 2 months straight without no stopping. So, yeah, no big deal.
Все, пока всем.
Okay, everyone, goodbye. See you next time.
Инструменты. Вот генератор. Панель управления вроде не тронута. Значит, можно получить доступ. Здесь тоже панель управления не тронута. То есть доступ к программе получить можно. Это реальный образец. Вот что находится внутри. Катушки. Они крутятся внутри.
Schwartz join us now. So Dan, tell us a little bit about him.
Yes, in my journey of scientists and inventors, I've met one brilliant scientist who is highly credible, who's built a number of energy devices that were functional, and he's received national security orders. Unfortunately, could not release all of them. He's done some incredible research. I can't even begin to scratch the surface of what this man has worked with.
And I think I can do a share screen of the secrecy order that you were talking about. So that's what you were talking about, right, Dan? That secrecy order?
That's
Yes.
the one.
That's the exact one right there. That's it. But you see where it says secrecy order and everything. But now mine's a little different at the top. They printed my name
I
and
removed
information up there.
your personal address, James.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that
Oh, so that's why it's different then.
right.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that, Dan. But you see down at the bottom where it says what Secretary of what was that, Commerce?
Right.
I can't read it. Yeah, there's no signature.
So they sent you one of these for a device that you mass produced that could create 250 watts. So we're not talking about a tremendous amount of energy, but nevertheless, they thought that that was such a national security threat that they had to shut it down and issue you one of these letters.
Are you're speaking about the incident in Japan now?
Yeah, just the Japan incident and this national secrecy order letter
Okay.
that you got.
Well, the court paper, my lawyer got to see it and he showed it to me. And it had that same information that you just showed me there, typed out on a page. And they was using that against me in Japan also as a rule. And I told them, I tried to tell the judge, well, I have never applied for a patent for those two rods because I didn't figure it was necessary. And I didn't think they would give it to me anyway because of I've been refused, so many times on different things. So it was a wasted effort. So the same people that were prosecuting me there in Japan is the same ones I think were involved in my talks with the patent people. I don't know. I'm still so confused over the whole thing. It doesn't, to me, it just doesn't make any sense, that, and that paper I had to sign, which, I use NDAs all the time. When somebody comes here to see my generator, that they sign an NDA, okay? And I give them a copy and I keep a copy, see? But the NDA, this agreement that I signed in Japan, the judge handed it to me and said, you either sign this or you go back to jail. And when I read it and everything, basically the part I didn't like, it said, you cannot create or manufacture these rods anywhere in the world, any place, no country. And when I tried to ask the judge, well, this is a Japanese court and I'm being prosecuted in a Japanese court. Why is it I can't go someplace else and do it? And the judge said, this information is confidential.
Yeah, it's a global control mechanism. Didn't you have some physical intimidation, like your cars being blown up and that sort of thing?
Oh, yeah. I still have all the pictures of it.
Pulls that and it goes around and it won't light up.
Yeah.
You see, it's possible. You know, I can do that. My van out there, I can put a Tesla coil in it. It
Yeah.
doesn't make a bit of noise. I can crank it up and I can come in here and I can run this light off of a small, tiny little unit and it's powered by that coil out there. You can send waves through the air.
Yes, you can.
And they're already starting to do that, by the way. You know,
Right.
they have chargers for cars now. You
Oh,
just you drive in, and it goes right
Wireless
to the air.
charging. I've even
Wireless, right?
put together a project
But-
in China for that.
Trust me, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
you're welcome to. I don't.
Yeah.
I can get a fluorescent coil outside if you want to see. I'm not transmitting any power,
Okay. So,
and it's almost it's 43 minutes already.
I mean, is it possible for us to take the light out and to just, you know, roll
Now,
around?
you don't want to look directly into it
Yeah, I wouldn't
because
think so.
it will damage out
Okay.
your eyes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So let's. Okay.
The only way you can look at this is close your eyelids. Close your
Yeah.
eyelids and then look directly into it and you'll see. You'll see
Mm-hmm.
how bright it is.
Okay.
Now there's a lot more that goes to this light. There's a big box that goes on here with a set of capacitors and stuff in it. There's some, what do they call it? It's emergency shut-off, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But all that I took off of it. I just
Mm-hmm.
use the light only.
Right. Okay. And it's all just coming out here. I mean, I know I would really like to be able to see. I mean, if we had a current sense resistor, and you even got that, you know, to be able to see what kind of AC versus DC
Well,
components and stuff we do have
here's the thing.
as we get into the
Wait,
next step.
You know,
Right?
if somebody's got a little bit of knowledge about oscilloscopes, if I put this on the oscilloscopes, you're going to have a pretty good idea what we're doing.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, it's going to show up by the wave. Okay,
Okay.
so we don't do that.
Okay.
We're not, and I'm never going to do that for anybody.
Okay.
Now, when if we have a partner, the
Uh-huh.
technology is in the name of my family,
Yeah.
and it will
Okay.
stay in the name of my family.
Yeah.
Now later on, after we've been partners for a while, we got some power plants out there.
Making some money.
You know, making some money.
Can I
you
measure
know,
voltage again?
Then, and if I need some extra money, I'll say, okay,
Who's
well,
going to need money then, right?
yeah,
After everything
well,
is going.
That's true, but suppose
Yeah.
I got a good idea, I want to do something, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll sell off 10% of my technology to somebody,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah.
And I'll use that money for something else,
Yeah.
you know. I've got,
Is it okay to?
yeah,
or
sure.
not? Yeah? Okay.
Just be careful,
I will.
don't
Right.
shock yourself.
I know. Okay.
Because this shock is not like electrical shock in the wall. It really hurts.
Yeah. Okay, so we're at 15 and a half. It looks very stable, you know,
Mhm.
running it. Okay. And can I switch to AC just to see if there is a detectable AC?
Well, switch it to AC and see.
Okay.
Try it.
Yeah, give it a try. And very low. 136 millivolts.
Mhm.
So
That's
it's really
and
showing the
and it's not
majority
accurate.
is, yeah, I would
You know,
believe.
I don't have
Yeah.
it here. It's still in the Philippines, but I built a great big box that playing with these special frequencies and all. I built this big box because a normal meter and everything just doesn't work right.
Yeah.
You know, but this box
Uh-huh.
does, and it's got it's got amperage, you know,
Yeah.
it's got voltage on it,
Uh-huh.
and that's what I use when I'm building something, because it's very, very accurate for this kind of electricity.
Sure.
This is
And
just
it is
guesswork.
really hot to the touch. I mean, we are
Yeah.
generating power, and
Okay,
you know, it's continuing to warm up. It's you know,
it'll still get about a little hotter than that, you know, but
mhm.
when it's on that helicopter, you can cook an egg on it.
Well, and also the helicopter, it's at 28 volts too.
Yeah, they're putting
Yeah.
out 28 volts.
Right. So there is a difference
Yeah.
there between the 15 and 28.
And remember, this is a 24 volt bulb.
Right.
It's not 12, and we're
Mhm.
putting out 18 maybe.
Yeah, 15 and a half.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it'll jump up. It'll go up. It'll go down. You know,
Right.
that's why it's called flux energy.
Okay.
Flux energy is not understood by science right now. They don't really understand it yet.
Mhm.
They know it's something to do with the Earth's magnetic hum in the field. You know, that 8.2 Earth hum, you know, has a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we've tested it in a car. Larry and I went on a trip to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And from there to Utah. Okay.
Okay.
And coming back from Utah, we put this behind the seat
Yeah.
and turned it on.
Okay.
And you could see it changing as we drive. You know, the voltage would change, you know. Some places, you know, it would drop down, you know. And when we crossed over that new bridge down there in Las Vegas,
Right.
oh my God, the thing started climbing like mad because the bridge is an antenna.
Hmm.
It's a huge steel wire antenna.
Yeah.
If we would have stopped in the middle of the bridge, it would have burnt that thing up.
Now that's still, I mean, it is grounded on both sides. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
into the
grounded.
ground.
If it wasn't
You just
grounded, we wouldn't have been
Yeah.
able to even turn it off in time.
Yeah.
It would have been worthless to even try to turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so what we need to start with is a very small amount. I've been working on a shoestring so much of my life, I don't know how to do anything with big money.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not
I
asking
mean, you've had
for,
some millions of
Yeah,
dollars.
I know,
mean,
but,
that's not a
but
shoestring.
that was from my
You did.
medical research.
Oh, okay.
You haven't even
Yeah.
begin to see what I can do with my medical research yet.
Yeah.
My oxygen chambers, I can get your cells on your body to start replicating faster at your age.
Huh.
I can extend your life by 20 or 30 years.
Okay. See, that would make you a lot of money as well. You know that.
I don't want to do that for money.
Okay.
First of all, it would get me in trouble with the government. You know, there are people on Social Security. You know, everything is set up to work
Oh,
a
yeah.
certain way. You
Right.
know, you got to die at a certain time. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm gonna
Statistical averages.
now. What I want to do
Okay.
is I want to buy
Yeah.
a piece of property with a house on it, and maybe if I can get one that's got a house plus a little guest house would be nice, so that I can have you guys over while we're working. You know, you come over and
Uh-huh.
stay or something. You
Yeah,
know.
right.
And then I'll have to build the building myself. But I have a pretty good picture of what I need. You know, I need a simple building.
Mm-hmm.
I think I still have a picture of it in here. Yeah, there. That's what I need, right there.
Oh yeah.
Very simple.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now the reason for that is because I got a lot of things that I can't tell the average people about. I'll tell you. First of all, we can't have any rebarb in the cement because frequencies are going to vibrate that rebarb, and they're going to start. They're going to get red hot. They'll melt the cement. Okay. So we're going to put fiberglass screen in the cement. And
Okay.
now before the cement is poured,
Yeah.
we're going to put rods in the ground, copper rods. Say that's the building right there. Okay.
Okay.
Now, from here to here, say there's a 60 feet, 80 feet that way. Okay. We're going to put several hundred rods into the ground, 12 feet deep, copper rods, and then they're all going to connect
Right.
by wires, and they're going to come out someplace in a hidden place, you know, so they come into the building. You know, we don't want nobody to know we got those rods under the ground. All right.
Okay.
Now, that's not only just our grounding, but that's actually the antenna to the Earth's magnetic hum in its field. And we're pretty sure that there's no lightning going to hit the building, but we're going to put up some lightning rods anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then to throw everybody off, we're going to go down and buy some black plastic
Yeah.
and some aluminum, and we're going to make solar panels.
Oh,
But they don't work. They
okay.
don't have to work. And
Right.
we're gonna put them all over the roof of the new building. Okay. Now those solar panels are going to be made out of a thin copper sheet in there, which will be connected to a system that's also going down into the lab. And we're going to send a frequency into those copper wires and those copper sheets up there. All right. And what that's going to do, that's going to amplify our electromagnetic field. So,
Okay. But so I know Evan was really mainly excited about the possibilities of doing something portable, right?
We'll
Okay,
talk about that
with the
later on.
50
That's
color.
like I said, it's,
Okay,
it's not.
we're just looking at this
Yeah,
first.
I want
this
you
here
to
is
understand
portable.
that it's real.
This is.
let me
you know,
let
you
me
can
tell
move
you.
that, But then, okay.
When my son's already been at NASA now for what 21 years. Okay.
Okay.
I've got a close connection with the NASA officials and that's very quiet because they don't want to get in trouble. They're not supposed to be doing things like this, you know.
Yeah.
But they help me, and because my son works there,
Uh-huh.
he can get time for me. Like maybe in a 24-hour day, they sometimes have as much as a minute and a half to sometimes 2 minutes that somebody can use a supercomputer.
Yeah.
Only 2 minutes.
Right.
I only need 10 seconds. 10 seconds is all I need to run
Okay.
all my computations through there.
Yeah.
Now that helps me with all my mathematical figures. It helps me try to get my frequencies closer together. You see, the frequencies have got to go like this, you know, not like that. If they oppose each other, we got a problem.
Okay.
Now, when I test plates,
Right.
I need if I've got 10 plates in there, I need 10 oscilloscopes.
Oh,
One oscilloscope for each plate,
okay.
because I want to see how they're connecting. You see, because they have to be able to work together without interfering with each other.
Okay.
Now these copper rods that I want to put underneath the building,
Right.
that's going to eliminate this here, right here. You see this? You see having to hide our plates, our software inside of the plates.
Right.
Okay, we don't have to do that anymore with those copper rods in the ground, because I'm gonna bounce the signal back and forth, and every time it bounces, it gets bigger and bigger and more powerful. It's a ricochet system. I'm sure you've heard of it. Ricochet is used for a lot of things like weapons and stuff,
Yeah.
especially the new EMP guns.
Mm-hmm.
They take the power and they bounce it back and forth until it builds up to an enormous amount of power, and then it hits a magnet, and bam, you shoot a metal capsule. Okay, now that's what we're doing too. We're going to amplify. So right now, I don't know how much power I can put out. As soon, we may have, when we put that 100 megawatt, when we hit the switch, we may find out we're overloading. Everything starts overloading. That means we just got too much there. We don't have enough. Panels. So we're going to have to add more panels to it, because it's like trying to put 200 gallons of water in a 55-gallon drum, and it's not going to fit.
Right.
You see?
Yeah.
So we're going to have some problems to start with.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I want those rods so that I can disconnect them underground.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide them up into rows. Maybe I'll have like 10 rows or 15 rows across. Each row will be connected as one, instead of connecting them all together, so that I can put them on line one row at a time.
Yeah.
You
Sure.
understand what I mean?
Oh yeah. Makes sense.
It's
So-
not easy to try to tell somebody all the wild, crazy things that we've been trying and we're going to do, you know.
Right.
It scares people, you know. But if you try to, say you try to build a power plant and you put it in a 20-foot container and you ship it somewhere, you know, well, a 20-foot container should be able to put out 1 megawatt, really.
Yeah.
We could do a megawatt in that chamber. But then when you get there, attaching it to the ground and all the work you got to do, you might as well just go there and build a damn power plant. You know, you just need to put the building in, do everything properly, and then you don't have any problem. You do it the other way, one of these foreign countries, somebody's going to come in with a truck and they're going to haul the thing off. We're going to have somebody competing with us. Or they're going to try to. They're not going to be able to do much about it, but they'll try.
Yeah.
In the Philippines, I had one of my units stolen. We went to Mindanao to show it to the governor there in Mindanao.
Yeah.
Because my wife's sister is married to the congressman's son there. And I promised to give a demonstration there in Mindanao. And when we got back, the rebels set up a checkpoint on the road. And they seen that in the back, and they took it. So we drove about 10 miles down the road, and I got out my computer, my laptop, and hooked it up to the satellite. And I sent a message to it. And sure enough, guess what? The news was all over the Philippines in a little while. One of their convoy trucks just was destroyed. They put it in the back of the truck. It burned up. It just disintegrated the truck. So you have to be careful with it. And I'm not promising you that I'm not going to run across something that might be really super great, or it might be a problem we got to solve.
Right.
So
We'll talk about the next stages later.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Michael,
Yeah.
any questions that you have for Dr. James on the technology
yeah,
side?
just don't stick any rings or anything in there with a
Yeah, I
ring
didn't.
on.
I mean,
Okay,
strictly
yeah.
this one.
Because
And you can tell, I mean,
Yeah.
the plates are warming up a little bit, which is what you would expect.
yeah.
I mean, it's still cooler than what I thought. I mean, this is, you know, definitely, I mean, the lights coming out and doing good.
Here's another benefit I forgot to tell you about. The
Yeah.
new plates in the chambers are going to get so cold. They're going to the temperature on is going to drop about 30 to 40 degrees below zero.
Really?
And the colder they
Okay.
get,
Yeah.
the higher the amperage,
Oh, okay.
and the voltage will go up too.
Okay.
And now all we got to do is come up with a way to vent that cold. We haven't figured out how to do it yet, because you can't put a fan on it, because you got to keep that 2 pounds of pressure in the cylinder with that inert gas in there. So we've got to figure out, now how can we get the cold from that to use it as air conditioning for our
For other things. Huh?
for other things.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Well, you're better than some of the guys. Some of the guys that come here, they're looking underneath the table too. They're like this.
yeah.
Can we hold on 1 second?
Okay.
Here's the plastic box and the plates. This was powering a helicopter's 1,000-watt light. Here's in your
Yeah, the
back room.
most we ever got out of that. Yeah, that small prototype is the one that we used to give a demonstration in Dubai, and that's the one that I guess we suspect it was the oil cartel people. They got scared that we were going to manufacture those things. Now, a little over a year and a half ago, I built this one in my backyard. The one you just showed, Dan, that one? Okay, in a small shed. I took a long extension cord and I ran it out to the front of the house. I used it to charge my little electric car.
You know, we could have decentralized power and mass production of these units, and you know, cut the cut the cord from the power companies, and everybody have independent power.
I got the results of a think tank survey that was done on why the government does what they do. And according to this think tank study that was done, if, say, my technology, say they put it on every power plant all the way around the world, 93% of the people employed, involved in it, everything all the way up to the highest blue collar and everything is unnecessary. It makes such a drastic change at one time. It causes chaos. You see what I mean? That's their reasoning why they want to keep me away from the grid system.
Can people find you on the internet if they wanted to contact you, if they wanted to support you? Where do they go?
Dan can give you my
fluxpowertechnology.com.
and you'll see the drawings of the 1 megawatt that I'm going to build. And since I'm doing it with all my own money and everything without any help, it's going to take me a little while. It's going to take me a couple of years to build it. But I know I can put out at least 1 megawatt, maybe 1.5 megawatts. Because there's some new materials coming out now. This new graphene technology, I'm very interested in it. I've already added it to my research, and I think it's going to make a big difference.
Well, look forward to what the future brings, and your work certainly is something that's going to bring about some really big changes once you get the support and whatever the deep state undergoes in the future. I think it's going to lead to people like you being able to get the support to release a lot of really life-changing technology. So again, thank you.
So the new energy source is the magnetic motor. So that was, so I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm basically ensuring that we have new energy technologies by continuing this for the rest of my existence. But I'm doing it here through this lifetime, is, you know, really understanding who and what has the right solutions in alignment with, you know, our mission and our values, and of getting 90 million people to choose love, which is the Maharishi effect, and gets 9 billion. It's basically affected, and we can stop the wars and the silly stuff. But this basically was in South Korea, and that was Andre, the guy in the very upper right picture with the peace sign, where we're sitting and having dinner. Andre Slobodovian, rest in peace, love you, bro. He actually, we had that generator up to 10 kilowatts, and I worked with him for like 6 years. His lab basically was burnt down in 2021. In the end of the year, and he was in the lab and he died. And so lab, all those pictures you see is no longer. And I've got the video from the aftermath. It's real. And we don't, you know, the police investigation was inconclusive, but you know, we know what happened there. So this has been a long rodeo, and that's just one of probably like 15 really dramatic stories that I can tell you about my life. They're similar. Because it's been a combination of Indiana Jones, Jason Bourne, and John Galt is kind of what I've been through. So that there are some brothers who, you know, I give him a lot of love and respect. He still checks in spiritually from time to time, and he's given full yes to go forward into the world with this. You can see on the pictures in the very far left there, the very far left, a little red and orange, red and blue. That's the 10 kilowatt motor that we're building right now. It's basically smaller than the white one. It's on that red shelf there. So you can go to the next. This is what we're building on the property. So this is basically the first one is what we're building on the property is a 0.5 megawatt power plant. So that's essentially the numbers for a PPA for 10 months at 6 cents a kilowatt hour for a megawatt. So every megawatt we install, we basically make $500,000 in gross revenue at 6 cents. And then this is at 5 megawatts and 50 megawatts. These are the different numbers. Like we're going to be installing a lot of this in Turkey. We'll probably have a number of 5 megawatt power plants in Turkey. We'll probably have a number of 50 megawatt power plants in Alaska, and so on. So this is exactly right here what we're doing on the property. We're acquiring and upgrading power plants. This is the numbers, and you see the green on the far right side. This is what basically, once we do this, it'll be that. And so once we have the money, this is basically, and you can see the pictures there of the infrastructure on the property. It's beautiful. Work is going to be with the Marine Foundation, making me chief science officer. I'll be doing that with basically every technical department in every country on the planet, because now we'll have an office in every embassy in every country on the planet, and I'll be working with their technology development departments from the top down. So we want to top down, bottom up. We need to get 90 million people really quickly. So yeah, and any partnerships you guys have, we would want to include it in our plan so we can cohesively do that together. But we want to basically take this model and replicate it anywhere there's a renewable energy plant or a power plant or a water plant or a waste plant. All utilities for municipalities, we can come in and take care of, we can do what's called energy savings contracts. We can immediately install our stuff and just lower their bills over time. And while we're making the money that they would normally pay somebody else. It's a really simple model.
Amazing. So question on that is, how would, let's say, we wanted to transition to a resource-based economy. Do you think that eventually we would be able to do that with these technologies, or do they need like constant maintenance and is there a lot of cost?
The whole goal is to, if we do our job correctly, within 10 to 20 years, all of the infrastructure that it took and the money it took to build the regenerators will literally pay for itself, and we won't need to use money to keep these things going. They'll be so basic in maintenance. The first, like our generator is 8,000 hours before we have to even open it up and put oil in it. That's a full year. And so, it's like, I hope that by 30 years from now, all the regenerators that we build are they've already been paid for, and whoever's using them, whatever communities, are just free. It's just free. That's it. Free energy, free water, free food, free healthcare, free waste management, free transportation, and free shelter, free education, free manufacturing, free communications, free governance, free economics, all of it free, because we don't need it if our resources are there. Everything is gravy. So then our exchange becomes, how creative are you? How much value have you created for your brothers and sisters is real, and not raping them or something that they should have for free anyways. This is the real value. It's going to be a real creative renaissance, when when we can get there way quicker than 30 years if everybody just focuses on this plan,
Oh, you're speaking my language. Totally agree.
So
Beautiful.
The solution partners are just some of the people I've been, like I said, I've turned myself into a chemist. I've turned myself into a quantum engineer. I've turned there's the crystal cells. It's a crystal battery. We basically, we made, and it harnesses the quantum fluctuations of the vacuum to a quasi-crystalline structure. That battery right there is the carbon batteries. Basically, they're just way better than lithium, and they're from recycled carbon. And they're a really good fit for our generation of our power, to have a really light battery that's non-toxic. It's a good part of the strategy. You can scroll down. Technologies is the Tesla tower, the Wardenclyffe tower, that's been rebuilt, and it's in Texas, in Paris, Texas. You can look at Visiv Technologies, and I've spoken to the generals that run it. It's military, ex-military. And for whatever reason, I get interesting meetings with interesting people in these areas, and they talk to me. And so he said that when we're ready to roll out, you let me know, brother. I'm like, wow. So and what that is we can transfer wireless power safely, megawatts, and it also will change the 5G. Wirelessly, yeah.
Fuck.
Solutions partners. The water deposition technology is basically an air-to-water machine. Every single air-to-water machine that you have on the planet right now is what's called a dew point. So they all work off the dew point. We need a separation of a temperature of 10 to 20 degrees. It gets better with a little more. What we do is we create really, really, really cold mass, it's like a major magnet to water. So it's way quicker, way more efficient. You know, it almost self-runs. We obviously have our own power. So that's our deposition technology, which will basically make water from the air like no other technology on the planet. Plus, we can make the energy to make the water anywhere we want. The solutions partners, more of them. Eating Green Hydroclimaponics is a really integrated, highly specific climate management system involved with vertical farming and water and other frequency stuff. And they're in Texas, and they have, I mean, their stuff is great. The bricks count they get is amazing. And I can do a lot of my other stuff about ag tech as well. So the cubic farms, they're basically the most efficient use of container farming on the planet. I went up and met with them in Vancouver, and the CEO and the son, they're great. But after I looked at their entire system, I redesigned my system on the right, which is actually using, I can grow more in my system than they can in theirs. And I'm also going to license all of our regenerators to the cubic farms and then license them our food design systems. And they're totally waiting for that.
Wow. So have you already tested that out too? Like you've been able to grow stuff faster and improve that?
Good data. Yep.
Wow, that's amazing.
After I cashed in my 401k and I sold my house and sold my cars and quit General Motors. And so I invested that like 10 to 50 grand a time into different inventors, which you'll see right here. All of those people are either doctors, PhDs, or inventors, or my investors. Every single person I've worked with, I'm transparent. This is in truth, trust, and transparency. I have nothing to hide. And if anybody actually wants to know the truth, they'll just pretty much study my life and they'll find it. And it'll be really a lot easier path for most people, because all these people I've invested into or they've invested into me. Every single one of them, there's a major story and a major technology behind. So you're seeing just a few highlights. But yeah, I've basically worked for private equity funds as a CTO for hire or a science officer. This is the first technology I ever invested into. And this is the first website I ever built. You can look at archive.net and look it up, hydrogenoffgridsystems.com 2010. And when I built this, I partnered with a guy who worked with Stanley Myers. Stanley Myers is one of the first real public guys, but not the first, but just real public in the 90s to actually build a self-running car that runs on water. He's put water and he's able to split it and get enough energy out of the hydrogen and the oxygen that came off of that to actually run the car. And, you know, just like you would gas, but you just need water. And then, so basically those systems I was selling, and that one was the first time I bumped into, you could say, the Men in Black. And that basically is, again, a long story on why that is not running a car right now. But again, there's gonna be a lot of time for that, hopefully, as we meet in person, and I can stories which are gonna be part of Raven Reveals. There's more content than you can ever imagine. So this right here is just some of the actual devices. So every single device here that you see is a self-running over Unity device.
Wow.
And again, I do the cutting of the metal and the programming of the server and the marketing website and the PR and on stage at the Marriott, whatever it takes. There you go. So that's the big 50,000 foot view and history of, of course, the regenerative economy there. That's the macroeconomic stakeholder model and some basic, really amazing equations about microcities and how to apply all this technology I got the most effectively. So this is 100% in alignment, and you can take a look at this too. It's got great, this is what we're doing. So.
Amazing. Wow. I'd love to look at all this. This is incredible.
Regeniverse Club is a 12-unit, self-sustaining village in a box that regenerates spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, and economic health. And so again, this is 500, and there's the business model shows how that works. The Regeniverse basically is 33 acres. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna read that there. It's 33-acre interactive Imaginarium and retail showcase, meaning everything is going to be interactive and for sale. And it's of the most freedom-giving, sustainable, and regenerative energy, water, food, health, shelter, and waste technologies and open source solutions. That's, basically of course, Buckminster Fuller's got to make his way in there because everybody's fighting the system, and that's all it create more fighting. Just got to build something better and ignore the old system. People will come. And so
I have that same quote in my New Earth development deck. I'll send it to you guys.
It's
awesome.
And then what is a Regeniverse? It's a place devoted to regenerating your spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, and economic well-being.
Beautiful.
And our property is 33.33 acres. That's it on the right. The very top spot, basically you can see on the right, was where the most infamous cannabis garden in the world ever existed. And it's the one that ended federal persecution and prosecution of medical marijuana patients in all 50 states. That property right there. That's where I got arrested. That's where it was under lien. And then, we were exonerated and got the property and everything back in 2018. That's a whole other story in itself. So all business will be conducted through the Freedom Foundation, which is an ecclesiastical foundation for God. It's all for God. And it also is shortly with the Marine Foundation, if things follow through, going to be given diplomatic status. That property will be. Every property we develop that has our technology on it will be diplomatically protected under a diplomatic mission from the Cote d'Ivoire or the Ivory Coast. And that means it'll be internationally protected persons and basically unfuckwithable. So that's one of the things about why we choose to structure things that way, because we have really advanced technologies that need to be held as such and stewarded as such for the benefit of mankind, because they could also be used to do bad things too. So this basically is a super easy business model. It's 30 RV spots, 12 domes, 50% occupancy at $50 and $100 a night is it's 18 grand a month on the RV, and 40 grand altogether for basically the those two, and that's it. There's nothing. That's not taking into consideration all the other income streams in the property. Like we're going to have the 24-hour screens that people can have and drive in. 12 different screens. The movie theater drive-in, which is really popular in our area. There's an old one that fills up. It's like literally people from everywhere come for these. It's just packed, and so there's just a lot of people that would come and basically lure them into the regenerative universe through different edutainment on that. So that's the model. And it's basically creating a glamping resort in a blink of an eye, because these are semi-permanent. I need to put semi up there because that allows us to get by all the regulations, specifically in Stevens County. It's like the most lenient county in all of the United States, every single one, because you can do builder owner first, and we're on, residential. So it's just perfect for many reasons to do this, as far as thinking with friction free and not waking waves and actually having it happen. But it can be done anywhere under the structure.
Amazing. Yeah, I wonder if you could do something as well with like regenerative materials that could be semi-permanent as well. Like there's some panels that you could use with these domes that are made with magnesium phosphate. I don't know if you've explored that material much, but it's basically like it protects from EMFs, and it's like really bioharmonic with the body and the energy field.
Explored that material so much, but I want to have all the different types of solutions that we can employ integrated into these places. So yeah, exactly. We'd love to learn more about that.
Amazing. Yeah, I know the person that's doing them in Reno, California. They're basically like, yeah, they're amazing. I'll just connect you with them when the time is right, and I can start getting quotes for, what that would cost. But yeah, I'll send more details once I get it.
I would definitely love to have all these. I think we'll have like integration sessions so we can, basically maximize our networks. Because I've got very specific, like literally specific top-down mission from God to do very certain things in every single sector. So I got the plan, and I'm just executing it. And those who would like to help make it a lot faster, it gives us all free resources. really quick. And so I don't want to, it's not my plan. I need everybody and all their solutions, right, to be integrated as quickly as possible. And that's where, there's no competition in my mind. I've had to be like a center hub on a wheel of millions of, or, probably literally about 60 or 70 different inventors for the last 10, 15 years, and work with them each individually because their egos are too big to work together. But I've been weeding them slowly to work together because we're coming to this time now. And this year and next year is going to be that, like you would say, some big reunions of a lot of our soul families.
Yeah, it's so true. It's more going to be about community and collaboration than individualism soon.
Exactly. So this is the domes that we're going to have on the inside, these covers, so we can show different media on the inside of all the 12 domes. And all 12 domes are themed as one of the sectors. So energy dome, water dome, food dome, health dome, et cetera, all the way up to, economics and governance. So when you're staying in this place, you're getting educated and entertained. And, your paradigms are just shifting right from fear to love right in front of your eyes.
Incredible. Amazing. Did you get these designs from Pacific Domes?
Nope. I got them from some swamping site. It's a Swedish site. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a whole collection of different people I've monitored who all around the planet who are doing these kind of things. But everything in here, again, will be for sale to anybody that stays there. So they're like, oh my God, honey, I want one of these in our property over here. I want that. And of course, no problem. No problem. Yeah, we'll do that for you. No problem. And again, we need the water and the waste so we can do it anywhere. We can do real estate where people can't. And so this is the birth of new opportunities. Basically, the health crisis, meaning crisis, economic crisis, etc. These slides are from future thinkers. So if you go to future thinkers, I literally just took these and edited them a little bit with a few of their words. I don't want to use Smart Village anymore. I want to use Wise Village, but everything else is in pretty close alignment.
Yeah, that's a good twist. Because smart implies tech, but wise implies really thinking about all the pieces.
Correct.
Love it.
But they have everything else correct. So I really love this. And I agree. And I'm going to be using this as a design factor when I design my cities and my villages. I'm going to use this because I want people to be close, and have meaningful relationships. Cities don't have that.
Right. It's true. Yeah. And then within cities being able to create things like that, like little sub neighborhoods that are the 150.
You got it. This is the drive-in. We're going to have 12 screens like that on my property, literally going 24 hours a day with all 12 sectors. So anytime anybody wants to drive in and have some popcorn and a soda that's a healthy soda, they can come and they can just sit there and learn. And I'm going to invite them.
That's awesome. So fun.
Tiny houses, cabins.
Okay, so last minute here. So in terms of, keep going.
So this is the aquaponics, which is the smallest scale down from the big one you saw. This is, fresh organic seafood, veggies, and it's only this one. I think it's 200,000 or less. Income of 277,000 a year. Startup costs would be 93,000 plus the initial. It's like around 200,000 startup costs. So, but it's almost 300 grand a year off of a small footprint, supporting each. Okay, this right here is supporting each Regeneraverse installation. Okay. So we've got a little aquaponics business that's feeding the people too. And it's mostly automated. And I've done the whole thing to be every scene to be ran by two people running everything that you've seen here. Not all this stuff. This is a lot of extra stuff, but just the basics at the top, the 12 domes and the, Airbnb model, the RV, two people, 50-50 partnered with the Align.Fund who funds it and basically manages it, the stuff that the two people can't do. And those two people, if they want, they can, make less money and hire out. But that's literally the overall model. It's scalable.